The first story, the Harvest Festival. Chapter 1. In the heart of the rolling countryside, where the golden fields stretched out as far as the eye could see, there lay a humble farming community known as Greenwood. Tucked away from the hustle and bustle of the modern world, it was a place where time seemed to move at its own leisurely pace, guided by the rhythm of the seasons and the ebb and flow of the harvest. Nestled amidst the verdant landscape, Greenwood was a close-knit community where neighbors were more like family, bound together by the shared toil of tilling the soil and reaping the fruits of their labor. Generations of families had called Greenwood home, their lives intertwined with the fertile land that sustained them. But amidst the tranquility of Greenwood lay a tradition shrouded in mystery, a harvest festival held every decade, steeped in age-old customs and rituals passed down through generations. It was a time of celebration and reverence, when the townsfolk would gather in the fields to give thanks for the bountiful crops that sustained them throughout the year. The festival was a sight to behold, with colorful banners fluttering in the breeze and the air filled with the sound of laughter and music. Tables groaned under the weight of hearty feasts, while children danced around bonfires, their faces flushed with excitement. But beneath the festive atmosphere lurked whispers of something darker, a sinister ritual performed during the harvest festival, whispered about in hushed tones and guarded secrets. It was said that the ritual was a pact made with the land itself, ensuring a plentiful harvest in exchange for a price too terrible to speak of. Despite the ominous rumors, the townsfolk of Greenwood embraced the tradition, believing it to be the key to their prosperity and survival. And so, every decade, they would gather in the fields as the sun dipped below the horizon, their voices raised in song and prayer, unaware of the darkness that lay waiting to be unleashed. As the days grew shorter and the sun dipped lower on the horizon, a palpable sense of anticipation began to permeate the air in Greenwood. The arrival of autumn signaled not only the changing of the seasons, but also the approach of a momentous event, the decade-long awaited Harvest Festival. In the heart of the small farming community, the streets buzzed with activity as the townsfolk threw themselves wholeheartedly into preparations for the grand celebration. From the oldest elder to the youngest child, all eagerly lent a hand, their faces alight with excitement and anticipation. In the fields, farmers toiled tirelessly to ensure that their crops would be ready in time for the festival. Rows of golden corn swayed gently in the breeze, while pumpkins ripened beneath the warm autumn sun. Each harvest was more abundant than the last, a testament to the hard work and dedication of the townsfolk. Meanwhile, in the town square, a flurry of activity surrounded the construction of makeshift stages and stalls, where vendors would soon showcase their wares. Colorful banners and ribbons adorned every corner, adding a festive touch to the quaint surroundings. Children dashed through the streets, their laughter echoing like music in the crisp autumn air. They helped decorate the town square with garlands of flowers and leaves, their youthful energy infusing the preparations with an infectious sense of joy. As the sun dipped below the horizon on the eve of the festival, the excitement reached a fever pitch. The air was filled with the tantalizing aroma of freshly baked pies and roasted meats, while musicians tuned their instruments in anticipation of the evening's festivities. In homes across Greenwood, families gathered around hearth and table, sharing stories and laughter as they eagerly awaited the dawn of the Harvest Festival. For in this moment, amidst the warmth and camaraderie of their community, they knew that something truly magical awaited them, a celebration of life, love, and the bountiful blessings of the harvest. Chapter 2. Beneath the veneer of festive cheer that enveloped Greenwood during the Harvest Festival lay a shadowy history whispered about in the darkest corners of the town. It was a history steeped in ancient traditions and secret rituals, tales passed down through generations, spoken of in hushed tones and guarded secrets. As the golden hues of dusk bathed the countryside in a soft, ethereal light, the townsfolk of Greenwood gathered around flickering bonfires, their faces illuminated by the dancing flames. It was here, amidst the warmth of the firelight, that the stories of the Harvest Festival's dark history were shared, passed from one generation to the next, like an unwritten legend. Legend spoke of a time long ago when the land of Greenwood lay barren and desolate, its fields unable to yield even the meagerest of harvests. Desperate to save their community from starvation, the townsfolk turned to dark magics and forbidden rituals in search of a solution. It was then that they made a pact with the land itself, a sinister bargain struck beneath the light of the harvest moon. In exchange for bountiful crops, they offered up a sacrifice, a soul to be claimed by the earth in a ritual of blood and bone. As the years passed and the harvests grew more plentiful, the townsfolk of Greenwood came to accept the ritual as a necessary evil, a small price to pay for the prosperity of their community. And so, every decade, they would gather in the fields, their voices raised in prayer as they performed the dark rites passed down through the ages. But beneath the surface of their outward acceptance lay a deeper unease, a lingering fear of the darkness that lurked just beyond the edges of their understanding. For in their hearts, the townsfolk knew that the price of their prosperity was steep, a debt owed to forces far more ancient and powerful than they could ever comprehend. And as the Harvest Festival approached once more, casting its long shadow over the fields of Greenwood, the townsfolk could only wonder what horrors awaited them beneath the light of the harvest moon. In the quiet corners of Greenwood, where the shadows danced in the flickering firelight, whispers of ancient secrets echoed through the night. The townsfolk gathered in hushed circles, their voices barely above a murmur, as they exchanged tales of the Harvest Festival's true nature, a dark and sinister ritual steeped in mystery and dread. Some spoke of the ritual as a pact made with the land itself, a desperate bargain struck to ensure bountiful crops in exchange for a sacrifice of blood. They whispered of hidden altars deep within the fields, where the earth hungered for the taste of human flesh, a price paid in shadows and screams. Others spoke of vengeful spirits, restless souls bound to the land by the sins of the past. They whispered of whispers heard on the wind, of faces glimpsed in the darkness, and of curses whispered in the dead of night. They spoke of souls trapped between worlds, seeking vengeance for the wrongs done to them in life. As the rumors spread like wildfire through the town, fear and unease took root in the hearts of the townsfolk. They cast furtive glances over their shoulders, their eyes haunted by the specter of the unknown. They wondered what dark forces lurked beneath the surface of their idyllic community and what price they would ultimately be forced to pay. But amidst the whispers and rumors, there were those who remained steadfast in their belief that the Harvest Festival was a sacred tradition, a celebration of life and abundance, not to be tainted by fear and superstition. They dismissed the tales of vengeful spirits as nothing more than the ramblings of fools and cowards, choosing instead to embrace the festivities with open arms. And so, as the eve of the Harvest Festival drew near, the town of Greenwood stood at a crossroads, caught between the light of tradition and the shadows of uncertainty, unsure of what lay waiting for them beneath the harvest moon.